Hi, everybody, and welcome to Child Development 1103. I'm Mrs. Sturgeon, and I will be your instructor for this class. I'm the Child Development Program Coordinator, which means that I'm the full-time faculty, and I coordinate the program, meaning I'm your advisor, and I'm also, in my office, we house the Scholars Program, which many of you are already a part of. And so that means that you have already probably met our Scholars Coordinator and her assistant. And then we also in the department have right now just one adjunct. So that means that most likely I will be your instructor for all of your child development classes. So I'm really excited for you to get started in the program. As this is Child Development 1103, it means that it's most likely your first class in the program. You might also be taking 2013 at the same time, but we do like students to start out in this class. So welcome aboard and welcome to the program, and we're so excited that you're here. So if you have found this video, that means that you have found the home page in Canvas, and I'm just going to show you around Canvas some. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And here we are. So I'm going to go into student view so that I can make sure that I'm seeing things as you see it. So in student view, you have this menu right here, home, that's where you are right now, syllabus, announcements, modules, grades, and a link to some tutoring services. If for some reason you can't see this menu, that's because you need to press these three bars right here. So let's go over the home page first. On the home page, over here, you'll notice that you have this awesome to-do list telling you about things that you need to see to. And as you complete them, they will check off your list. So that's a really good feeling. Another place that you can see them check off your list is in calendar view. And your calendar is going to show everything for all your classes. So that's really handy to be able to keep up with due dates, I think, and look at everything there. They'll be in different colors depending on the different classes. So I really like using that as well. What I don't want you to do is only find assignments based on either going to the calendar or to your to-do list. Because what's going to happen if you do that is that you're only going to see the assignment and you're not going to see all the learning materials that go with the assignment. So I'll show you in a few minutes the best way to get there. So homepage, I'll always have the 3 most recent class announcements pinned up here so that you'll be able to see them. And we'll talk more about class announcements as we go also. So here's information about me. This is my phone number, my email address, and letting you know where I went to school. I got my bachelor's from Oklahoma State, and I got my master's of education from the University of Texas at Arlington. Here are my office hours. These are the times that you're guaranteed to be able to catch me. Each instructor has dedicated times that they are to be in their office and available to students. So this is when that is. That's when you're guaranteed to either get me on this phone or stop by and find me in the office, or join my Zoom. And we'll talk about that as we go through this as well. So this is my office number, so please don't expect it to work outside of my office hours. It might sometimes during business hours, you might catch me in and out of there. Those aren't as guaranteed as the business hours. And I'm certainly not there in the evenings or on the weekends because this is an office phone. So if you want to get a hold of me on evenings or weekends, you'll want to use Canvas inbox, and we'll talk more about that too. So my office hours are from 11 to 1 on Mondays and from 3 to 4 on Mondays. And that is, like I said, in person, on the phone, or via Zoom. And so during that time, unless I'm on the phone with someone else or visiting with another student, I'm going to answer the phone if you call. I'm going to be sitting in my office ready to see you. And I'm going to have my Zoom open so that all you have to do is log in and there I'll be ready to say hi to you, unless someone else is already in there. And then you'll just have to wait just like you would if you came to my office, but there was already someone in there. So the hours are the same on Tuesday, 11 to 1 and then 3 to 4. Wednesday is 10:30 to 1:30. And the reason I've selected these times is because I found that fits nicely. Most of you who are working with either a nap schedule or a lunch schedule. And then some of you, if you work for Head Start or some other places, might get off work between this time. So if you wanted to come in person, you could. But I try to make it when y'all might be available. And that's when the Zoom can be really handy, is maybe you just have a quick question and you can't come in, but you can pop in on Zoom really fast. Like I said, Wednesdays 10:30 to 11:30. Thursdays are the same time. So Mondays and Tuesdays are the same. Wednesdays and Thursdays are the same. And then on Thursdays, I also have a night office hour. That one is virtual only. The phone number won't work. I won't be in my office. I'll be at home. And that's from 8 to 9. And that's just one way that I'm trying to meet y'all's needs, because I know that most of you are working and going to school and have kids and all the things. And so I'm just trying to be available, when you might be doing your homework, which might be on a Thursday night after the kids go to bed. So and then on Fridays, I have 1 hour. It's from noon to 1, and that one is virtual only. So no phone number, no sitting in my office. That one's virtual only also. And then another one, same reason I have that Thursday night one. I've got another one on Sundays from 5 to 6. Most of my assignments are due on Mondays at midnight. And so most students are working on their assignments over the weekend. And that's so that if you come across any questions while you're working, I mean, that's the case with all office hours, what it is. But I've discovered that one's really helpful for a lot of people when they're working on their assignments. So the way that you can join that virtual office hour is to take your phone and scan this QR code, or to just click right here and use your computer to join. And if you ever want to schedule an appointment with me, you can do the same thing here, but you don't need to do that for office hours. You would schedule an appointment, if you just want to guarantee your slot and guarantee that no one will interrupt your time. Or if you want to, talk to me for advising purposes and things like that, that way I could have a degree check ready for you and be ready for our meeting. So that's how you get a hold of me. You have found a video here. If you're watching this, that's where you found this. This is just a little article about me when I first started at Western. Here we've got the instructor's plan for regular and substantive interaction. And this says, and this will be in all your classes, the student can expect timely and frequent interaction with the instructor throughout the course. Each assignment will have a due date on the calendar, syllabus link, or within the module. The instructor will communicate with the student using email, announcements, discussions, assignments, office hours, and/or virtual Zoom meetings. I think I do all of those. I don't email with you very much unless you emailed me first. I think that that Canvas inbox makes the best sense for communicating about your coursework. But if you do email me, I will respond. Announcements. I post a lot of I think I post a lot of announcements. I don't know how many other instructors post, but I do post announcements because since we're 100% online instead of meeting in class, that's my only way of communicating with you. So I definitely post announcements, and I definitely expect that you're reading them. You are held accountable for anything that I put in announcements. So please make sure that you're reading those so that I don't think you knew something that you didn't know, because if I put it out there, you're held responsible for knowing it. Discussions. I participate in the class discussions with you. Assignments. I give feedback on assignments that, again, I expect that you're reading. They're going to help you do better on future assignments, be a better communicator, because I taught English language arts for a lot of years. So a lot of times I'm going to correct grammar and punctuation and spelling and things like that. And you're trying to be a professional, right? This class is the child development professional, and you're a professional. And we need to communicate as such and put a good image out towards parents of children that we work with and coworkers and things. So I'm not picking on you if you see me correcting things like that. I'm just trying to help make sure that you're the best communicator you can be and put the best impression out there you can put out. My office hours, we talked about that, and Zoom meetings. Okay, the student can inspect instructor-initiated posts, replies, and or follow-up questions on discussion boards. Like I said, individualized feedback on assignments, and we'll talk about how to find those as we go, either in this video or in the Start Here video is where you'll find more information on that. And live Zoom discussions or meetings, which we will have 2 of for this class. One is Thursday, and then we have got another one in week 5. And that's because since this is your very first class, and a lot of times, for a lot of you, it's your first college class ever, or your first college class in a long time, we just like to have a check-in and make sure that things are going really well with you. And or announcements. So more announcements. The instructor will respond to learner inquiries for assistance within 2 business days. So that means, if you get in touch with me on a Monday, I will for sure reply by Wednesday. I try to be much faster than that. That this is just saying that instructors do have that long. So if something comes up in our lives and we don't get back to you, immediately, then we have that long. But most of us, I think, try to be much quicker than that. We know your time's valuable, and when you want an answer, you need it. So we try, but we also, aren't working 24/7. So within 48 hours, you should hear back from me. And then and provide feedback on assignments within 7 days of the due date. So like I said, most assignments are due Monday at midnight. So that means that by the following Monday at midnight, you should have it graded and back to you from me. Now notice it says from the due date, not when you turn it in. So if an assignment is assigned on Tuesday and you turn it in on Thursday, that's not when your 7 days starts. Your 7 days doesn't start until the due date. And again, I might be faster than that. I hope I can be, but it is easier to grade all of an assignment at one time. So it ends up being easier to grade it once everybody's comes in than wait, or then do them as they each come in. So anyway, 7 days from the due date is when you can expect assignments to be returned to you. This is our conceptual framework for child development, and it's each and every child. And what we have here are standards that we strive to meet when teaching you. Standards about child development and learning, family teacher partnerships and community connections, child observation, documentation, and assessment, developmentally, cultural, and linguistically appropriate teaching practices, knowledge, application, and integration of academic content and early childhood curriculum, and professionalism in early childhood. So these standards come from NAEYC, and NAEYC is something that you will learn about as you go through the modules, if you don't already know what NAEYC is. So that's just a little bit about the goals of our program. Okay, so from the home page, you can click on the syllabus. And on this page, you can click here to see the full course syllabus, which you are responsible for knowing the information on. So I highly recommend that you go through this. And there will be some quiz answer questions found in it. So just make sure that you know where to find it and know how to find things in it. This is telling you what we intend to learn in this class. This tells you that you don't need to buy any textbooks. This is how the grades are broken down. Your class discussions are 25% of your grade. Regular weekly assignments are 45%, and major assignments account for 30%. Information about assignments. My late policy, which is a deduction of 5% per day, and that's automatically, the grade book is set up to automatically take 5% off per day late. Actually, when Monday at midnight hits, if you haven't turned something in, the grade book's going to put in a 0. And then say you turn it in 2 days later, then the 0 will, can't remember if it takes the 0 out before I grade it or not. I think the 0 stays at that point until I've graded it. But when I do enter a grade, it's going to automatically take, like I said, if it's 2 days, 10% off. So make sure you're staying on top of assignments. That's pretty standard. Actually, it's a little bit nicer than standard. I think that most instructors are taking 10% off per day. So I'm just doing 5%. And actually, with this being an 8-week class, it probably should be 10% because we need to go faster since this is an 8-week class. So 5% per day, but so then realize that after so many days, it's not going to be worth anything. So make sure you're trying to keep up with your assignments. I do want to point out to you that an 8-week class is not just a shorter class than a 16-week class. Takes less time, but it's the same amount of work as a 16-week class. It's just that all the work is crammed into 8 weeks. Same if you took like an intersession. Most colleges offer 4-week classes over Christmas break. That would be a 16-week class crammed into 4 weeks. So please expect that this class is going to move quickly, but also expect that your 16-week classes won't be quite this crazy. So if this is your first class, then don't think, oh, this is college. No, when you take a 16-week class, it's going to go a little bit slower. So just keep that in mind. There's just lots of information here in the syllabus that you need to read that I'm not going to read all of it to you, but you are responsible for knowing it. And I highly recommend you go through it. Like I said, there will be quiz questions over some of them as well. Also in the syllabus, we have due dates of all of your assignments. So even though you can't open these assignments yet, because they're not available to you yet, you can go ahead and put them on your calendar if you want to. If you keep a paper calendar or something like that, you could go ahead and put them in there. It's just if you click on them, it's going to tell you that you don't have access yet. It's locked until September 10th. So yeah, just notice due dates and things like that. And it doesn't show here, but close dates, most of the time assignments close roughly 3 weeks after, because at that point they wouldn't be worth any credit anyway. But sometimes if it's something that like you need to do to be able to move on to the next thing, they might close and not reopen before that. The same is true with discussions. Discussions are not accepted late, and that's explained in the discussions page. But when discussions are due, they're due, because if you post late in a discussion, it's no longer a discussion. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the syllabus page. Announcements are just what it sounds like, class announcements, and you can find them all here. Modules are the meat of the class. They're where you're going to find everything you need to get assignments done and so forth. So if you haven't already found it, you've got this very first module that has all kinds of information that you need to be going through this week and getting ready for the class. So there's a start here page with its own video. Excuse me. It has its own video that you'll need to watch that goes over other information. And then you can get there by clicking next, or you could have gone back to modules. This just tells you that you don't have to purchase a textbook for this class. Yay, you don't have to spend money there. Some online learning tips. Got the phone number for the IT desk. I am not a technical, I'm pretty good with technology, but I'm not IT. So if you're having problems with your email, your password, your computer, anything, don't waste time. You're only wasting your time if you contact me first, because I'm not going to be able to help you. Go straight to IT so that you don't have to wait to hear back from me just to tell you that I can't reset your password, or I can't, I don't know, whatever technical issue you're having. So there is information on here again for your quiz. So you'll want to go through this, and some tips for online students, since if you're in this program, all your child development classes are online, but you're probably going to take all classes online. So just some tips for online learning. Here's that page about class discussion criteria and point distribution. It's 25% of your grade. So I would make sure I watch this video and sure go through this and know exactly what is wanted from class discussions. APA formatting. Again, you can watch this video and get the information here. This is that page I was talking about where you get to learn about NACI. Early learning standards, that's something that you'll learn more about as you go through your courses, but just like, I mean, we've got students at all different levels. Some of you have been working for 30 years in childcare. Some of you are fresh out of high school. So I try to talk to the majority of you or to those who might know the least. So don't ever be insulted if I think you don't know something. It's because I'm speaking to those who might be brand new to this. But we do have standards that we're trying to meet when we're teaching these children, just like maybe when you were in high school, you know, your English teacher, your science teacher, they had standards that they had to meet to get you ready to go to the next grade or for a test or something like that. Well, the same is true here. We've got standards that we're trying to help make sure that students get taught and learn. You'll notice that they're called guidelines for these early years because really it is, as you're going to learn in this class, I mean, they're developing at so many different rates and speeds and their own pace, and they develop, you know, it's not hard set. You have to learn this lesson as much as it is in the other grades. So they're guidelines here, not standards we have to meet. And that took us through the first module. So yeah, here we are. And then there's week 1 and it'll have its own video you can go watch. And that's how these are. You can collapse them or expand them. And this tells you that this is a page you need to open. When you see this little icon, you can also click on it here. This little icon tells you it's an assignment. To do this one, it's going to be a survey. You will need to make sure that you're logged. I'll get into all this when I get to this video. Sorry, I'll do that later. Anyway, this is week 1. Week 2, again, you can expand or collapse and expand. And that's your week. One thing I do have to say about this semester is that some semesters fall differently, the dates, but week 8 and finals it's all in one. So just keep in mind when you get down here, you need to be looking at both of these modules at the same time. So it's going to be a fast 8 weeks, but it's going to be fun. I think you're going to learn a lot. I hope you're going to learn a lot. And thanks for sticking with me through the video, and please watch the other ones.